This dresser was only $1. I am not kidding, only $1 at my local Salvation Army. My friend texted me when she was there. I guess they just needed some space. She asked me if I wanted it. Believe it or not, I said no because I am full up in my storage shed. But she said she was going to buy it for a whole dollar and then give it to her daughter to make over. She then delivered it straight to my door with her daughter's design choices, which might surprise you, but you are going to love the final result for me to make over this pretty piece. After inspecting this piece and realizing it was a fine piece of furniture, we need to get ready with a little bit of bonding boss. This piece has a slight shine to it, and since I'm painting indoors in my house, I really don't want to sand. So using bonding boss as my gripping primer is going to save the day. This product also works super well if your piece might be a little bit stinky because it has a stain blocking primer as well as an odor blocking primer inside. And since this is shiny, this is going to allow my paint to grip super well. That nice white base is going to be perfect for the colors that my friend's daughter picked. When you use a bonding primer like this in white or gray, you're going to find that when painting in light colors, you will use less paint at the end of your project. It just gives you a great base, a nice light base to start painting on. The rules for this bonding primer are to apply 2 even coats, waiting 24 hours before you begin to paint. Waiting the 24 hours before you paint is crucial for this product. It's going to allow it to cure and get hard and create a nice hard level surface for your paint to stick to. So what's the plan for this piece? What did my 9-year-old little friend decide to do? Well, she wants pink. Of course, she is redoing her bedroom in a soft pink and soft green. So we are going to be painting an ombre effect onto this piece with an added little touch. She really wants a raised stencil design on the sides, and for this, she chose the Cozy Sweater stencil. So let's get ready to paint this dresser pink, pink of all things. And believe it or not, when you see the final result, you are going to flipping love it. Starting off with a full base of tea rose. I decided to roll on my tea rose just for timing. It's going to take me less time to do this than to hand paint on one solid coat. This is going to be the base for my ombre blend. I covered the entire project in a base of tea rose using the roller for all of the flat surfaces and then using a smaller brush to get in around the detail. I did not paint the hinges, just so you know. I want to keep those hinges working properly on the 2 drawers of this piece on the sides. After I have finished painting on an entire base coat of tea rose, we will move on to the ombre blend of 2 colors. The 2 colors for today's ombre blend are going to be one of the new Southern Roots colors, which is called Magnolia, as well as Tea Rose. Let's add on that cozy sweater stencil to the sides. For my raised stencil design, I'll be using Dixie Belle's mud and a plastic spatula. The trick to doing a raised stencil that is layered, because you're going to be layering the stencil over top, is to line up the bottom row with the previous row of mud. Yes, you're going to squish it a little bit, but don't worry, I'm over applying because this will be sanded back some to be a nice flat surface, but still with a little bit of a raised design. Continue your pattern all the way down to the bottom, and then I will go back up and add it to the sides of the piece as well. My life would have been a lot easier if the stencil was the exact same size as the sides of the dresser, but it was not, so we worked with what we had. So when this mud actually does get dry, what you're going to do is take your sander, I like my Surf Prep sander, and I can gently sand it back to a little bit more of a flat surface so that all the peaks and the valleys disappear. Just so you know, you do need to wash your stencil outside. I do not wash my stencils and put that Dixie Belle's mud down the drain. I don't want it to clog up my pipes. So I just take it outside and give it a good shot of water with the hose, and it comes quite clean. You can choose to seal your stencil with your Dixie Belle's Bonding Boss or clear coat just to really lock it in, remembering that that product is a water-based product, the Dixie Belle mud. You don't really want it getting wet and moving around since you've taken all the time to create that perfect stencil. I just chose to lock it in with a base coat of Tea Rose before I come in with my Ombre blend. I really love how this stencil looks on the side of the dresser. I was second guessing her design choice for a hot minute when I was applying it, but when it was done, it really added a lot of warmth to this piece. While that gets dry, let's work on the hardware for this piece. Since all the hardware is in really beautiful condition and kind of looks like butterflies to me, I chose to paint it in gold and reuse the original hardware, which you'll see at the end was a great design choice because keeping the original hardware when you work on a project is always a good idea. Okay, let's talk about ombre blending. I get a lot of questions about ombre blending, and I'm not gonna lie, the trick is in the brush. This Best Dang brush is the magical tool that is gonna give you the easiest and most simple ombre blend. You're going to lay down your color pattern. So for me, it's the Tea Rose, the darker color around the outside, and then the lighter in the center. And then once you've laid that down, you're going to use your brush in a dampened state, not sopping, soaking wet, just a little bit wet. And you're going to ombre blend and pull those two colors together. Don't worry, I'm going to show you here in a slower motion. So making sure again that your brush is wiped off, it's going to hold a lot of product, that Best Dang brush, and you're going to just gently swirl your colors together. If you hold your brush at the base, it's going to give you a little bit more control when you're doing that circular motion versus holding it high up on the handle. I recommend holding that brush at the base and then soft, small swirls to blend the two colors together. I find that choosing two colors that are very close together, like these two, it's going to make your job that much easier. If you choose two colors that are far apart on the color wheel, this is going to be a much harder job for blending. But when you're blending two colors that are just so close, like this, it is super easy. I also like to work in smaller sections, like one drawer at a time or one side at a time. This is going to allow me to get just the right amount of blending going with my dampened brush. If you extend the surface too far over or the space is really large, it's going to be harder to work with. After I was finished painting, I sealed the entire piece with satin clear coat for strength and then wax over top. The wax over top is what's going to give it that soft effect. I am loving the fact that the hardware looks like tiny butterflies. I made a cute little soft tassel to hang from one of the doors, and this piece was finished. I gilded all of the drawer edges and sides in gold gilding wax so that when she opens them up, there's going to be a small touch of gold. And then this piece looks amazing. She came, picked it up, and loved it. She actually sent me photos of her beautiful new room, and it goes together so well with her soft sage green. So if you are ever out shopping and find a dresser for $1, go ahead, be brave, and be bold with your color choice because this piece turned out absolutely amazing. I cannot believe a 9-year-old designed it. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on my painting journey. I'll see you again next time.